Today, I'm going to share some tips, strategies, and tricks I've learned to help people who act like an introvert feel and act more like an extrovert. So, yesterday, I was in two different meetings. The first meeting had about 30 people there, and we were mixing, mingling, talking to each other, standing up, presenting, and I was completely comfortable. I presented two different times, not a problem, 100% feel just great, enjoyed it. Afterwards, I was energized, excited, and ready to go to the rest of my day. Later on in the day, I had another meeting, much less formal. I wasn't presenting in front of anyone. There's a couple hundred people there, mixing and mingling, and I was so uncomfortable in that second meeting than I was in the first meeting. So what happened between the first meeting when I was completely comfortable? It was great. I felt and acted like an extrovert. And the second meeting where I was feeling uncomfortable and it didn't go great and I was back inside my shell. Well, between those two meetings, I had several other items that came up. I had some unrelated pressures that were building that I had to take care of, but I was in that meeting instead of taking care of those pressures. And then I didn't have a clear purpose for being in the meeting, and I wasn't sure of all the expectations on me. So I had all of these unknown variables that were piling onto me. I had a bunch of external pressures that were completely unrelated from that big meeting that were all building up on me. And so while I'm in that meeting, I'm thinking about all these different items and trying to solve problems and trying to take care of things that I couldn't and shouldn't really be trying to do in the big meeting, but was still trying to get that done. So to boil it all down, when I was comfortable, I knew what I was going to be doing. I knew how it was going to happen. I didn't have a lot of external pressures pushing on me, and I didn't feel like it was a threatening environment. The second meeting, when I was uncomfortable, I had a lot going on in my mind already. I was in kind of a fight or flight type of mode where my brain was trying to solve problems and was feeling threatened by these other pressures. And then when I was in that room, it just amplified those issues because I wasn't able to solve the problems, but my brain keeps thinking about those problems, right? So tip number one, the more relaxed you can feel before and during the meeting, the more likely you are to feel the meetings an enjoyable activity and not a drain on you. The more external pressures or even pressures related to the meeting that you're feeling, the less likely you are to enjoy it, and the more you're going to feel like that meeting is going to drain you. So jumping now to an event that happened many years ago, back when I was a kid, I was in a public school and they were having a fundraiser for some of the activities and things they had going on in relationship to the school. And they went out and the parent-teacher organization put together this whole opportunity where kids could go and sell candy. And it was these nice chocolates that we could sell. And they had a prize for the person who sold absolute most. And I wanted that prize. I was so excited. I mean, first off, as a kid, I love candy. Second off, chocolate. And it was premium chocolate, like everything was amazing. And then I was going to get a prize for selling the most, and I got to be showcased in front of the school. Plus, I was helping to raise money that they needed at the school. So everything about it was something that had me super excited, and I didn't feel any threat because as a kid, I thought, who doesn't like candy? Like everybody likes candy, right? And then I thought, who wouldn't want to support the school? Everybody loves schools, right? And so it wasn't about me as much as it was about my goal to win, and I believed in the product. And I knew that anyone who told me no, it wasn't because they doubted me or it wasn't a reflection on me. And so I was absolutely fearless. I was making phone calls to people I didn't know. I was going and knocking doors in my neighborhood. I went and did as much as I possibly could. And I was so excited. I was sure I was going to win, but I actually came in second. And the only reason I came in second was there was one girl in the school and her dad was one of the fire chiefs, and he went around to all the fire stations and got all the firefighters to buy chocolate. So technically, I feel like I still won, even though I came in second, since I was the one knocking the doors. That kind of taught me something else, because as a kid, we'd have these discussions. Should I grow up to be a cop? Should I grow up to be a firefighter? And it was this huge thought and argument. But what I discovered was, well, my friends told me, he said, nobody likes cops. You don't want to be a cop. Everyone loves firefighters. You should be a firefighter. And as I've grown, I've become friends with a lot of both active cops, retired police officers, firefighters, active, retired. And I've noticed that there are some characteristics where police officers seem like they're more introverted. And they weren't always more introverted, and they're always on high alert and feeling threatened, whereas the firefighters seem like they're more relaxed and everyone's excited to see them. And I think that kind of translates what I was talking about earlier, where the more comfortable you feel and the less threatened you feel, you'll act more like an extrovert than an introvert. Now that I've shared some thoughts and stories around this, here are some of the tips, tricks, and strategies I implement to help me, and that I've shared with others to help them be able to act more like an extrovert in any social setting. So it all starts before the event actually begins. Start by presetting your mind. Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling worried? Are you feeling concerned about other issues or about the event? Step number one, make sure that you can take those and set them to the side. So work through those issues, think about what it is that's causing you stress, think about what's causing you frustration, figure out a plan, even if it's that you're going to write these problems all down on a piece of paper and set it there and say, when I'm done with this event, I will address these. That gives your brain the ability to take a deep breath and to let go of trying to solve those problems during the event. Another strategy I use is I tell myself I'm excited. I'll say, I'm so excited for this event. It's going to be great. I can't wait to meet all these people. There's all these new friends that I have an opportunity to meet. Everyone's going to be excited. There's going to be people who are scared, and I can help them not be scared. And I start pumping myself up, telling myself all of these different thoughts and ideas so that I'm, again, setting my brain for how it should think about that event. Another option is to listen to some upbeat and exciting music. There is music out there that can make you feel like garbage. There's music out there that can really lift you up and get you pumped up and excited. I invite you to find some of that music that gets you pumped up, gets you ready, gets your brain out of the fight or flight mode into the excited and happy mode, and listen to that before the event. And then the last is make a game of it. Tell yourself, man, I want to meet 10 people today, or I want to meet 15 people, or I really want to find out what 4 people are going to do this weekend, or make in some way something that you can push yourself into that competitive spirit. Because when people are feeling competitive, they oftentimes don't have the bandwidth to also feel scared and threatened by the event. And you kind of shift and morph those negative emotions into the excited emotions. So again, step one, you can set aside worries. You can write them down, put them on a piece of paper, promise yourself you'll come back to them after the event. Second, tell yourself how excited you are. Third, listen to music that's going to pump you up and get you into that mode. And then 4, make a game of it. If you have other tips, tricks, or strategies, I'd love it if you'd leave a comment. Let's share what we know works so that we can help others also have a success in their social environments. Be sure to subscribe and share this episode with others who may be looking for answers on how to be more social.